machine works, and you can better understand how to use it. Okay, so this is the bandsaw, because it uses a continuous band for its blade. That blade, you can see, is located right here, goes down underneath, around a wheel, up through this guard over here, around another wheel, and back down through the guide. Okay, there's the blade right there. If the blade breaks, just like a rubber band breaks, we gotta get a new band for it. Okay, so you can see what it looks like. This is the giant wheel. The motor is on the back side. Remember, every motor has an axle. Remember that? Okay, that axle is located right here. It's just attached to the wheel. And as the motor turns, it turns the wheel this way, and it turns the blade. You can see the wheel on the top is turning. You can see inside there. It comes down, and you can see the blade is going through the table right there. So does that make sense in how the machine works? Okay, we make sure that the blade is nice and tight, or taut, so that it doesn't move around too much on us. All right, we want to make sure that this is closed properly so that it doesn't open up on us and we don't touch down inside there. We want to make sure this is closed properly so we can't touch the moving parts in here. This right here is is our guard, and the guard, what it does is it keeps us from touching any of the exposed blade up above. You can see all this blade right here is exposed and poses a danger. Okay, this right here is our cutting area. From the guide to the table is the cutting area. So if I was going to cut this piece of wood right here, I need to adjust the guide. The guide should only be 1/4 of an inch above the piece of wood. Okay, so I need to adjust it. To adjust the guide, you can see we can cut a pretty large piece of wood through here, couldn't we? Okay, so I'm going to drop it down. So it's only about 1/4 of an inch above the piece of wood. Tighten it up. It's nice. I'm going to drop my guard down so that it's just above the piece of wood. Now I'm going to have to look through the guard to see my blade cutting the wood. Alright, so now we have two things guarding us from any flying pieces of wood that might happen. We have the guard and we have our glasses. Alright, so if I'm going to cut this line right here, I want to make sure that I cut on the outside of the line. We never cut on the line or inside the line. If we cut on the inside of the line, we've already cut it too short. If we cut on the outside of the line, we can always go sand it down to the line later. Okay, so we're going to try to cut as close to that line as possible. So here we go. Here's our start and stop buttons right here. And so we're going to start it up. The machine's going to start up and get going, and then we're going to go ahead and cut that piece of wood right there. I'm going to follow it right along with the blade. We want to let it get up to speed first, and then using our hands, making sure that our hands are clear of that blade. It's just like drawing a line. Now, there's that piece of wood sitting in there. You think I'm going to stick my hand in there and get that? No way, that's unsafe, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the machine. And then there's a brake right here on the side. Now watch me operate this brake. You'll see that if I pull it towards the wall, it'll stop the machine. Okay? Now I'm still not going to stick my hand up in there. Notice that the wheels are starting to move a little bit till they get to their resting place. I'm going to go ahead and use the piece of wood, knock that out of the way. Now I can grab my piece of wood. Now if you take a look at my cut, you can see that I can still see the line. I got real close to it, okay, and I can sand down to the line later. All right, so let's recap. This is the bandsaw. This is the guard that keeps us from touching the blade. This is the guide. The guide keeps the blade from moving around, and we want it only about 1/4 of an inch above the piece of wood, okay? And when we make our cut, we want to make sure that we cut it on the outside of the line so that we can go and sand it down later, okay? So are there any questions about the bandsaw?